everybody. This is Ron Ditmars talking to you from the Erasmus Academy Recording Studios. And today we have a new series on Johann Sebastian Bach, some of the historical background of the composer. And you'll see on the picture here on the screen, Anhalt-Köthen, which is one of the places where he lived and composed for a while before moving to Leipzig. So fortunately we have today, our guest speaker is Chad. Chad, you want to say hello and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Chad Haug. I study church music down at Baylor University and have an emphasis in composition, so I'm really interested in music of composers like Bach. I'm really happy to be here working with you today, Ron.
Great. Okay. So this is the picture of this, and then I'm just going to take this down and take a look at another picture. This is a historical picture of the Thomaskirche, which is in Leipzig, still standing, taken obviously from the beginning of the 18th century, during the time of Bach, presumably. And so here, if you can see my marker, over on this side is where the Archive Museum is, where you can go and observe all the different stages of his life and his composition, and there you can also listen to recordings. And then this is the main nave of the church, quite a large church. We could probably seat, I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 people. And this is just the front of the church right here. Later on, I'll show you a picture that I actually drew from the right side over here, looking at this part of the church only in a subsequent session. So, and these two churches are standing still. His house itself is not survived. It's not. We don't know where that was, but it's quite impressive to go to Leipzig and you can visit the church, and the Thomas Boys Choir still performs cantatas there on a regular basis. Okay, so let's take a look at the text. Let's see that we're starting out with. So this is about his and these are all taken actually directly from the Archive Museum. As you see, some of the pictures have even a little bit of a reflection of the glass that's in front of them. Okay, so you all set, Chad?
Ready to roll, Ron.
Okay, you know that our procedure, everyone, you're familiar with it probably now. I'll read the sentence out loud and Chad will repeat after me, and then please repeat with him to get a sense of the flow of the words. And then I'll ask him specific questions, and you should try to imagine in your mind the answers as we piece together the meaning of the sentences. Okay, going on, starting off here. Wenn Fürst Leopold auf Reisen ging, everybody?
Wenn Fürst Leopold auf Reisen ging,
nahm stets einen Teil seines Hofstaates mit.
Nahm stets einen Teil seines Hofstaates mit.
Good. Can you see my mark here?
Yes.
Everybody, good. Okay, so in this first sentence, remember we always look for the verb first, subject second, and the direct object third if there is one. Up to this point, where's the verb?
It is ging.
Good. And is this a strong verb or a weak verb?
It is a strong verb.
So it's really important to know the three principal parts of these verbs that occur all the time. So the three principal parts are gehen, ging, gegangen. So it's third person singular or first person singular. And obviously Leopold is the subject. In the second sentence, let's read this. Nahm stets einen Teil seines Hofstaates mit. Everybody?
Nahm stets einen Teil seines Hofstaates mit.
Where's the verb in that sentence?
In this case, it would be nahm.
Good. And what goes with that?
Well,
that's the subject, but what goes
together?
I'm
sorry, mit. Yes, mit.
Mit, good. So remember, several prefixes will always float out to the end of this clause or sentence. So if you see a preposition at the end, it's 100% or very likely to be a part of the verb. So namen just means to take. This is also a past tense. Three principal parts are nehmen, nahm, genommen. So mit, by itself, it means he took, but mitnehmen means he took along with him certain things. Okay. How about this wenn? What could it be? It's either temporal when or conditional if. Which one do you think it applies here?
I think it makes most sense to say when in this case.
Good. Great.
Temporal sense.
Okay. The second sentence. Where's the subject of nahm mit?
It comes right after the verb, as you would expect, and it's
Yeah, and where's the direct object? What did he take along with him?
einen Teil.
Good. And how do you know the gender of tile? How can you tell?
It's helpful if you look at the article before it.
Good.
And it has the en at the end, so you know that it's accusative and masculine.
Good. And what if this were feminine? What would be the form of the indefinite article?
It would be eine.
And neuter?
Ein.
Good. Perfect. So, and this is this is what we call genitive of his royal household. You want to translate the first sentence slowly?
Sure. When Prince Leopold went on trips, he continually, I suppose, took along a part of his royal household.
Good. All right. Going on. So verbrachte Bach im Frühsommer, everybody?
So verbrachte Bach im Frühsommer
1718, everybody?
1718
Und 1720
und 1720
jeweils mehrere Wochen in dem noblen Badeort Karlsbad.
Jeweils mehrere Wochen in dem noblen Badeort Karlsbad.
You just noticed that I took a lot of time with these dates. It's good to
Thank you,
practice.
Ron.
It's good to practice them slowly. Okay, so up
Yes.
to this point, let me just mark out. I erased the earlier marking so we can pay more attention. So where's the verb, Chad?
I think it is verbrachte.
Good. Verbrachte. Now, what kind of verb is this? We call it a hybrid. So what does that mean?
It means it has characteristics of both the strong and the weak verb.
Good. So here's the verb is verbringen as the infinitive, to pass, to spend time. And so verbrachte is here's the vowel change characteristic of the strong verbs. And where's the characteristic of the weak verbs?
It's the te at the end.
Yeah, making the past. Good. So these are sort of hybrid verbs that there may be 15 or 20 that are quite common. Okay. So and where's the subject?
It would be Bach.
Mm-hmm. Good. And where's the direct object? So Bach passed or spent.
Yeah, this one you got to look a little bit. I think it's Wochen.
Good. Mm-hmm. So just read the core sentence then.
Okay. Do you want it in the order it's in or the English order?
In the order that it's in.
Okay. Verbrachte Bach Wochen.
Good. So Bach past weeks. That's your core sentence, and everything else is dependent upon that. Let's see. So several weeks. This is sort of respectively. And what is im a contraction for?
In dem.
Mm-hmm. And this is summer, obviously, early summer. And then here you have a dative also in the noble Badeort means the place of bathing. So as we say spa, Carlsbad was quite fancy. So you want to do that whole sentence slowly?
Sure. Thus, I guess, or so, Bach spent weeks in the early summer of 1718 and 1720, respectively, in the noble spa of Carlsbad.
Good. Did you include several weeks in your translation there?
No, maybe I didn't. Several weeks.
Yeah, so he passed several weeks, etc. Good, great, fantastic. Going on. Gerade von der zweiten Reise zurückgekehrt, everybody?
Gerade von der zweiten Reise zurückgekehrt,
erfuhr er, dass seine Frau Maria Barbara gestorben war.
Dass seine Frau Maria Barbara gestorben war.
Here you have a past participle. Zurückkehren means to return. It's a separate prefix because zurück would float out to the end of a sentence if it could. And then here you have the GE augment sandwiched in between there. So what do we call this construction in this first part of the sentence?
Yeah, since it ends with the participle, it would be a participial phrase.
Exactly, yeah. So gerade means just, barely, or having just returned, it would be from the second trip. Now, sometimes German doesn't supply the possessive pronouns which we normally would like to hear in English. So you would say, having just returned from his second trip, i.e. in 1720, and going on, erfuhr how do you translate that?
He experienced.
Good. And then here you have a relative, this introduces a relative clause, das. And what's the subject of that relative clause?
Gestorben war.
Well, the subject is
I'm sorry, it's with the verb.
I messed you up because I normally ask for the verb first.
It's Frau.
Yeah,
And
so
then
that is wife Maria Barbara. Yeah, and this is a had died. You want to do that whole sentence, starting?
Sure.
Uh,
So having returned immediately from his second trip, he experienced, or maybe it's better to say discovered here, that his wife, Maria Barbara, had died.
That's right. Yeah, his wife Maria Barbara had died. Good. Going on. Anderthalb Jahre später, everybody.
Anderthalb Jahre später
Heiratete die Köthener Hofsängerin Anna Magdalena Wilke.
heiratete die Köthener Hofsängerin Anna Magdalena Wilke.
Good, great. Okay. So what would you do first, looking at that sentence in analyzing it?
I would say look for the verb complex, Ron.
Where's that?
Heiratete.
Okay, here's a weak verb with a te ending there, which means he married. Where's the subject? Is obviously
Right after it.
er. And where's the direct object?
Die Köthener Hofsängerin.
Good. Here's your direct object here, right? The court singer. Good. And here you have notice these when you have proper nouns, there's no adjectival ending that's required. It's always er, whether it's masculine or feminine. In the case of proper nouns. Okay. You want to translate that sentence?
Sure. A year and a half later, he married the Köthener court singer Anna Magdalena Wilke.
And if you know, there's a whole composition book dedicated to Anna Magdalena. Those of you who are Bach aficionados. Going on. 1723, everybody.
1723
verließ Bach Köthen,
verließ Bach Köthen,
Thomaskantor in Leipzig zu werden.
Thomaskantor in Leipzig zu werden.
So what's verließ come from?
It comes from verlassen.
So that means to leave. Good. Okay. So notice that sometimes a German sentence will just start with a year, and you have to supply an English in. So in 1723, he left Köthen, and then what's zu mean?
In order to.
In order to become, and then it's pretty simple. You want to do that sentence?
Sure. In 1723, Bach left Köthen in order to become the Thomaskantor in Leipzig.
Mm-hmm. And the cantor is obviously the position of the cantor, or the singer, or the choir director of the Thomaskirche in Leipzig. Good. Going on. Das Verhältnis zu Leopold blieb freundschaftlich.
Das Verhältnis zu Leopold blieb freundschaftlich.
Where's your verb?
Blieb.
From
bleiben.
Good. Three principal parts are bleiben, blieb, geblieben. Pretty straightforward. You want to do that sentence?
Sure. The relationship to Leopold remained friendly.
Good. Den Titel des Hoffürstlich Anhalt Köthischen Kapellmeisters. Go ahead.
Den Titel des Hochfürstlich Anhalt Köthenisch Kapellmeisters
behielt Bach bis zum Tod des Fürsten.
Behielt Bach bis zum Tod des Fürsten.
Here, we haven't looked at this here. Here's a genitive with the en there. This is one of those end nouns, so-called,
yes.
that are masculine nouns that end that have their plural in n or en, and there's sort of it has actually a genitive, almost adjectival ending here. This doesn't mean this. This is not plural. It just is the genitive of the prince simply. Okay. Now this is a little bit more complicated sentence because it starts with Dane. What do you do with Dane when you see it at the beginning of the sentence?
Well, you better set it aside because it's not going to be the subject because it's marked as an accusative.
Right. Okay. So where's your verb?
Bach. I'm sorry. Your verb is behielt.
Yeah. So Bach maintained, and then was the direct object?
Den Titel.
Good. There you are. So read the core sentence just in order.
Okay. Den Titel behielt Bach.
Simply there, and everything else is sort of syntactically depending upon that. Okay. He became the title of he maintained until the death of Leopold, the prince. Let's see. So you want just read that last sentence?
Sure. Bach maintained the title of the High Princely Kapellmeister of Anhalt-Köthen until the death of the prince.
Good. So that is even after going to Leipzig in 1723, he still maintained this title until the death of the prince. Great. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great day. Talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.